Hello, and welcome to Homegrown KC, a podcast dedicated to exploring Kansas City's fascinating history and sharing stories from its rich past. I'm your host, Laura. Join me today as we explore a piece of Kansas City's history.
Seem to shake this feeling, and I can't seem to get you off my mind. Thought I lost my nerve forever, and I know that it's now or never. Trying to see this through, tie loose ends up with a bow and start anew. We could talk through the nights on the phone, but we toss and we turn all alone, and we both know that that's not the way we roll. Can you hear me calling out your name? 'Cause I swear I thought I'd heard the same. So don't overthink or undermine. Meet me in Kansas City tonight. Your grievance, not a motive for your leaving, and it all seems crazy and unkind, and I miss my window to make you mine. I was broken and confused, and I woke up to me calling out for you. No more back to the back and the forth, no more dragging on the floor, no more spinning the wheels, no, not anymore. Can you hear me calling out your name? 'Cause I swear I thought I'd heard the same. So don't overthink or undermine. Meet me in Kansas City. Can you hear me calling out your name? I'm right here.
Hello, friends. It's been a minute. So I owe y'all a minisode on my adventure to see the Disney 100 exhibit at Union Station, which I did a couple of weeks ago, but first I'm going to take a minute to tell y'all about my visit to Deanna Rowe's Children's Farmstead last weekend, because no shade, I'm pretty sure this is going to be quicker. I'm also going to take a quick sec to say thank you to all my loyal listeners. Thank you to you. This is your first time listening. Everyone who listens, appreciate y'all. If you enjoy the content, please donate. You can donate at redcircle.com/homegrownkc or coffee.com/homegrownkc. That's ko-fi.com/homegrownkc. In this case, I'm requesting you donate to Red Circle. Instructions will be at the end of this episode. And I'm placing this request at the beginning because after such a lovely holiday weekend last week, I had a really horrible week, which started at 8 a.m. Monday morning with me closing my garage door down onto my car, which is resulting in repairs that are costing a good chunk of money and taking a bite out of my bank account. So any additional financial support from you, my listeners, greatly appreciated. If you donate, I'll give you a special shout out. All right, here we go. To start, I had my eldest nephew with me for the 4th of July weekend. For my non-American listeners, this is our annual celebration of us declaring ourselves independent from the British Empire. It is not, repeat, not when the American Revolution ended. It's when we signed the Declaration of Independence, which was almost 10 years before the war officially ended. And thanks to the intranets, I just learned this. Independence from Great Britain is one of the most widely celebrated holidays around the world. There are a total of 65 different nations that were once British colonies or protectorates that are now sovereign nations. So that means out of the 365 days in a year, 65 of them are a national holiday celebrating independence from the British Empire. I honestly think that's a really fun little uniter. Anyway, me and the Neffy, we went to Deanna Rose. I was really excited. I wanted to take him to Steamboat Arabia because, hello, buried treasure. I thought, buried treasure, you'll love this, and it's so cool, and I haven't been forever, and buried treasure. But he, the poor misguided little thing, thinks museums are boring. We're gonna work on that. So I was looking up other ideas, found Deanna Rose, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's not far from me. It's farther than I thought, but that's okay. And I was like, hey, do you want to go to this petting zoo? And he's like, yeah, what kind of animals do they got? And I was like, chickens, goats, cows. Y'all, he was sold as soon as he heard cows. It was adorable and hilarious. Quick detour. Let me tell you a little bit about this place, and then I'll tell you about our visit. So, I had never been. Never took a field trip there as a kid. I don't think I even heard of it until I was an undergrad at UMKC, possibly even later. So I thought it was a new thing. Like, I thought it was a 2000s thing. No. It started in 1971. Yeah, so it's over 50 years old. In 1971, the city of Overland Park bought this land called Community Park at the time. And then a few years later, in 1978, it was changed to Deanna Rose. Wait, sorry, I said that wrong. Yeah, backing up. Okay, so they opened Community Park. They have a really, really small little farm. And it's called the Farmstead. There we go. Jumping ahead to 85, that's when it was renamed to Deanna Rose Children's Farmstead, and it was named after Deanna Rose, who was a policewoman who was killed in the line of duty. Now, they did expand greatly in 2000, so I was maybe kind of not really almost right. They added a fishing pond in 2000, and then between 2000 and 2010, they added a schoolhouse, a dairy barn, a playground, a main street, and a Native American encampment. They also, last year, 2023, added a mining shack. Now, we did not go in, but if you do, there is rocks, pebbles that you can like mine for, you know? You shake the little tray through the water, and then they all the dirt and soot and whatnot is washed away, and the rocks remain. It is $6 for a little bag and $10 for a big bag. And then this year, 2024, they also started offering wagon rides. It was nearly 100 degrees the Saturday afternoon that we ventured out. So we skipped things like the mining house, the mining shack and the schoolhouse. And we rushed a few of the others, but 1010, I would absolutely go again. It was fantastic. They're open Monday through Sunday, so 7 days a week, 9 to 5. Two and under are free. Everyone else, $5. Super awesome. They have over 250 total animals, mostly farm animals. We saw tons of chickens, tons of goats. Let me try that again. Goats, some sheep, and I don't know what kind of sheep this was, but one of the sheep was the size of a pony. No joke. It was huge. Cows and horses. They have some actual ponies as well. They also have a koi fish pond, a bald eagle, which was like way unexpected. I'm like, okay, bald eagle, you're in like a national preserve, like Yellowstone. Maybe you're at the National Zoo. You're not at this tiny little, basically petting farm zoo in Overland Park. There they were. Or there he was, sorry. She? I don't know. It. We'll go with it. It was one eagle. Um, quick little story while we're on the subject. So I was like, oh wow, it's kind of bigger than I thought. Okay. We walked on by, and then when we turned around to walk back, it flew from one perch to the other as we were walking past it, and you're standing like 2 feet from the cage, so we were really close. And I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, so I jumped a little bit, but I did see it long enough to notice its wingspan. Huge, like the length of my body or more. Surprisingly huge, scary huge. Anyways, where are we at here? They have peacocks, they have a hawk, a vulture, prairie dogs, bunnies, pigs, turkeys, and bison. I'm not sure how, but we totally missed the bison. Oh, and they have a bobcat. I think there were two actually, if I'm remembering correctly. They also have an extensive, very beautiful butterfly garden, which I took an immense number of photos of. They have a small children's garden with like a little house and some of those like stick your head in here photo things. Those are very cute. And a vegetable garden. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a fishing pond. It was like $3 to rent a pole, and this is in quotations. It's a string on a stick. It's not a fishing pole. And it was $1 to bottle feed the baby goats. And the dairy barn, which we did walk through pretty quickly, and that cow in there was huge. Okay, first of all, my nephew was like, oh, the horns, it's a bull, and I was trying to convince him, like, no, cows have horns too, and he wasn't catching on. Because there was one cow outside that had the really long horns, like a Texas Longhorn, and then the cow inside that was eating had short horns, and it was as tall, maybe a foot or two taller than a horse. This cow was enormous. And then they had the really cute little miniature cows that are super hairy and adorable. Anyways, they have milking demonstrations. This is where I was trying to go with this. They have milking demonstrations in the barn twice a day, but one was at like 11 a.m. and the other was at 4 p.m. And I was like, you know what? It's 3. We're not going to stay that long. And then the main street has a general store, an old bank, an old photography studio, old barber shop, and an ice cream parlor. I don't know if I was correct in this, but as we walked past it, it looked like everything was closed except for the ice cream parlor and the general store. It may have been that it was open and the door was just shut, but it was dark inside, and I didn't see people inside. They also have a small wooded area that you can walk through, and it's okay, so you're on this farm, it does not feel like you're in the city at all, but then this little wooded area, even more secluded. Like you walk in there and you're like, oh, I am in the woods. I am hiking and I am at peace and one with nature. It was lovely. There's also wooden benches and swings absolutely everywhere when you need a rest. There's food for sale at the entrance. We didn't need anything. And bathrooms, which we didn't go inside, so I can't rate the bathroom. But they have a water fountain, and the water fountain is one of those ones where you can fill up your water bottle. That was some really good water. Appreciated that. So, again, if you're in the Casey area, if you're coming to visit, especially if you got littles, highly recommend a visit to Deanna Rose Children's Farmstead in Overland Park. Super enjoyed our visit. I totally want to go back. I want to take my other nieces and nephews. Like I said, hella hot when we were there, but we were still there for like 2 hours looking at the animals, I think it would be really easy for you to spend 4 or 5 hours there. That's going to be the end of today's minisode. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Please be sure to listen to my other minisode on the Disney 100 exhibit and my minisode from last month. Might have even actually been the end of May on the new Miriam hike with Urban Hikes KC. If you want to become a financial supporter of the show, there's a few ways you can do so. You can subscribe to patreon.com/homegrownkc or redcircle.com/homegrownkc. You can give as little or as much as you want. You can also simply give a donation at Red Circle or at Ko-fi, which is ko-fi.com/homegrownkc. If you become a patron supporter, that you're signing up, and then on the first of every month following. And if you're a patron, you get 3 things. You get an item from the merchandise store valued at $5 or less, a shout out on every episode and social media post. So thank you, Bjorn and Joan, for your continued support. And you will also get access to exclusive bonus content featuring other local historians, archivists, and museum curators. If you simply donate, I'll give you a shout out on the next available episode, but you do not get anything from the merchandise store and you do not get access to that bonus content. Additionally, if you donate on Ko-fi, 1% will automatically go to help fight climate change. A final way that you can support me monetarily is to send me stars on Facebook. If you cannot support me monetarily, totally cool. Inflation, the economy, it's really bad right now. You can still support me by following, liking, subscribing to all of my social media pages. That's Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Twitter. Also my YouTube channel. I'm Homegrown KC on all of those. My YouTube channel now has all of my episodes on it, so you can listen there if you so desire. And if you rate and review me on Apple Podcasts, that helps other folks find me. Thank you. You can also visit my website for additional information. That's homegrownkc.wordpress.com. And that is the only place in which you can sign up for my newsletter. Once a month, I'll send you an email that says, here's what's new and upcoming, what you can expect. In the future, I do hope to still do some giveaways through the newsletter. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or episode suggestions, you can email me at homegrownkcpodcast@gmail.com or send me a DM on any of those social medias. For merchandise, visit Zazzle, zazzle.com/store/homegrown_KC_store. Thank you goes out to my talented sister-in-law, Sarah McCombs, for the creation of my logo, to the Dear Misses for the use of their song Kansas City as the intro and outro music of every episode, to local libraries which enabled me to gather all my research, and thank you for listening. Cheers!
Had to ask you this tonight, 'cause I can't seem to shake this feeling, and I can't seem to get you off my mind. Thought I lost my nerve forever, and I know that it's now or never to try and see this through. Tie loose ends up with a bow and start anew. We could talk